Hi everyone, my name is Ken. Thanks for taking a few minutes to learn about something that affects millions of Americans: food deserts. Let's start with what that actually means. A food desert is an area where residents have limited access to affordable and nutritious food, especially fresh fruits and vegetables. Right now, about 23 million Americans live in areas considered food deserts. That's nearly the entire population of a state like Florida or New York. People who, every day, struggle to find a healthy place to buy groceries. Here's where it gets even more concerning. If you live in a low-income neighborhood, you're more than twice as likely to be in a food desert. It's not just about geography, it's about inequality. Let's look at urban versus rural areas. You might assume rural communities are hit hardest, and in some ways they are. Rural areas often have the highest rates of food insecurity. But in urban areas, more people live closer together, which means there are actually more people affected, even if the land area is smaller. Another big issue is store type. In many low-income neighborhoods, you'll see lots of convenience stores or corner shops. But those stores usually carry fewer healthy items, and the prices are often higher. So even if you can buy food nearby, it might not be food that's good for you, or good for your wallet. Now let's talk about the impact food deserts have on people, especially kids. Children who grow up in food deserts face a higher risk of both mental and emotional health challenges. They're also more likely to struggle in school, partly because nutrition plays a huge role in learning and focus. Imagine trying to do math when your stomach is empty, or when your breakfast came from a vending machine. There's also a very real connection to chronic health problems. Living in a food desert increases your risk of type 2 diabetes by 12%. Other long-term effects include heart disease, obesity, and even certain cancers. Now let's throw in another major barrier: transportation. Roughly 2.3 million U.S. households live more than a mile from the nearest supermarket and don't have access to a car. That may not sound like much to some, but think about it. If you had to walk more than a mile with several bags of groceries, or rely on limited public transportation every time you needed milk or produce, it would be exhausting, expensive, or even impossible. So why don't more stores just open in these areas? One reason is cost, and that's part of the problem for consumers too. Families living in food deserts often end up paying 25% more for food than those in higher income areas. There are a few reasons for this. It costs more to transport goods to remote or underserved areas. Convenience stores, which are more common in these neighborhoods, mark up prices. And low-income families already spend a larger percentage of their income on groceries, so even small price increases can push them into food insecurity, which means they can't afford to buy enough healthy food on a regular basis. Now, some states are stepping up with creative solutions. In Alabama, the governor signed a law to incentivize grocery retailers to move into food deserts. North Carolina is working on a Healthy Corner Store initiative, which could give up to $1 million in grants to help small stores carry fresh, healthy options. And in Louisiana, they've passed the Healthy Food Act, which supports grocery stores and farmers markets expanding into underserved areas. These aren't magic fixes, but they're steps in the right direction, and they show how policy can directly affect access. So, what does this mean for us? How can regular people help make a difference? First, we can advocate for policy changes. Support local laws and leaders that promote food access. Write to your city council, your school board, or your state representatives. It really does make a difference. Next, support local solutions. That might mean shopping at a farmer's market when you can, or even getting involved with or donating to a community garden. These kinds of programs help bring healthy food directly into neighborhoods that need them. And finally, talk about it. Simply raising awareness is a powerful way to help. This isn't just about geography, it's about inequality, access, and long-term health. But the good news is, this is a solvable problem. Through community action, smart policies, and increased awareness, we can help close the gap and make sure everyone has access to the nutritious food they deserve. Thanks so much for your time.